Hi, I'm Mr. Schrader, and this video is about the partial differences algorithm for subtraction. The partial differences subtraction algorithm, differences is the solution to a subtraction problem, so we call this one partial differences, is kind of an unusual method, but sometimes students really dig it. So it's one that we teach. It's a fairly simple procedure. It follows along the same kind of idea as partial sums. You find the partial differences, and then you subtract them. Then you add up the partial differences. So the issue, though, is sometimes partial differences means that the differences are negative, and so we have to deal with that. So let's go through it, and let's see what we see. All right? We're going to start with the example problem. And it's 932 minus 356. Now, similar to partial sums, you have to know your place value and the value of the digit in the place value. So, for example, in 932, the 9 is worth 900. The 3 is worth 30, and the 2 is worth 2. So I get 930 and 2. So when I get them all together, 900 plus 30 plus 2, that's 932. So knowing that, we're going to talk about just the hundredths place. In the hundredths place, I've got the 900 minus 300. So when I take my 900 minus 300, I get 600. Next, I go to my next place value. My next step is my next place value, and it's the tens place. So I get 30 minus 50, and that's negative 20. One way you can do that is you just take the highest minus the lowest, like the highest minus the smallest number, so I get 50 minus 30 is 20, but since it's backwards, I have to put a negative sign in front of it. Then I need to subtract the ones place, which I get 2 minus 6, which is a negative 4. So then I add all my partial differences. If I take 600 and I plus a negative 20, so that's actually subtracting, I'm to 580, and I have to subtract another 4, so I get 576. Let's take a look at the guided practice. I need to solve 457 minus 163 using partial differences. So I set up my number by stacking it. That's the easiest way to do subtraction, so we subtract it, so we stack it. And step one, I'm going to start with my biggest place value, and that's the hundredths place. I have 400 is the value of the 4, minus 100 is the value of the 1, so I get a total of 300. Step two is I'm going to subtract the tens. In my tens place, I get a 50 minus a 60, which is actually a negative 10. Notice I'm still going to try to line up my place value. And in this case, my last step is to subtract the ones, which I get 7 minus 3, which equals 4. So when I do all of this together, I'm going to start with 300. And I'm going to add 10 to it, because I'm going to subtract, I'm sorry, I got a negative 10. So I'm at 290, then I add my 4, so I get 294 as my total. All right, you're on your own for step 3 of the on your own problem. It's 739 minus 185. You can go ahead and pause the video, and I'll come back and help you out when you're done. All right, let's go ahead and solve this. I'm going to take 739 minus 185. I'm going to start with my biggest place value, and that's the hundredths place. I'm going to take 700 minus 100, which equals 600. That's a happy one. My tens place, I've got 30 minus 80, which is a negative 50. Then I've got 9 minus 5 in the ones place, which is 4. So it's a sum. I have to add it all, the partial differences together. So I get 600 minus 50 is 550, plus 4 is 554. Thanks a lot.